lahat ever ng kaso na naging ano niya in their news database lalabas. And then you could build a dossier. For us sa Puma Podcast, I wasn't that interested in a specific product, but I was interested in evolving a workflow. Kasi yun talaga yung paniniwala ko eh. Human AI, and then human AI together on a piece of work. And so that's what we entered in. Nag-finalist pero hindi nanalo, but to be among the team that received the training, and it was a 4 months training process with classes, with everything to familiarize ourselves with AI, with what generative models are. Doon ko first na encounter yung salita at yung site na hugging face. Yung ganyan parang, okay, may ganito pala and this is where we build from. So going from zero, going from like tech speculation, Terminator, it's gonna end the world, to understanding everything, and then trying to integrate AI into our workflow, which by the end of it, by the time that I left mga podcast, quite integrated ng AI in our workflows. I cut so much time down. I mean, I hope it doesn't sound off to say like I got rid of jobs, but like in jobs were replaced. So low level, parang grind away jobs were replaced, and that freed up more time for more creative output. Ganun.
Yeah, I mean, my takeaway from what you went through, and this is something that I experienced at the early days. Now, when I say early days, 2023, when I started talking about
Mm-hmm.
AI, it's really content. And mamaya I hope maybe if we have time, we can delve into that. No?
Yeah.
That sounded underwhelming, honestly, to the academics I've met and maybe the private sector na parang, huh?
Yeah.
It's all about content? So ano yan? But then if you reflect on it, how much of our life is really driven by content? Easily 90% or more is content. No? And
Yes.
if AI can mess around with 90% of your life, parang ganun, how it can be. But anyways, again, before we get to that,
Mm-mm.
get back to your course. Can you talk more about, what were the things you picked up? Because you find it interesting that we now have courses on ethics and AI kasi it's still a
Yes.
relatively new space.
Yeah. So what happened was, because of AI, the AI competition. Again, my mind is there, but I wanted to delve further into it. And ito yung siguro medyo weird or medyo uh not as normal for most people, I guess, in my early 40s, when I was reflecting on what I would like to be. The thought was I want to be a philosopher. And that's I mean, medyo, let's be an entrepreneur, let's be a ganito. Hindi, like I want to be a philosopher now. I want to find a way into philosophy and into understanding, parang being an opportunity for me to think deeply about things. That I don't know how that comes across, but that's what I was looking for. And in that, I also did not want to become parang monkish na existence lang. Gusto ko thinking deeply is still connected to the world, but hindi siya full retreat. Like, kasi when you're in journalism, you're like, oh my God, this thing is happening and I have to cover this and this story needs to come out and people need to know about this thing and we need to be investigating this piece, but this and this and this and dami nangyayari, which means that you lose focus on meaning sometimes and depth. So that's where I found myself taking this course. And really, it asks the deeper questions about what is AI for? Because right now, it's what can I replace? Should we use AI or not? Because nakakatakot yan and it's going to displace everyone and all that. And what I find is that it's reactionary. And that's okay. Kasi kailangan natin mag-react because it's fast. But then this specific moment necessitates slowing down, thinking about what does this mean for us? What does that mean for humanity? And this course brings in those ideas. It starts with, as you know, it's funny because it gives pieces on utilitarianism, deontology, values-based philosophies, and then begins to integrate that into AI, like when or data. When this data is here, philosophically, is it okay to take this data? And it's there, for example, just easy example for us sa Pilipinas, would it have been okay to install, temperature checks everywhere and then take our data alongside, napipicture yung face natin. And if those things have our faces, what will that be used for incidentally, without intention? If someone hacks into that. And I never thought about those things. And so it was very enriching to get to think about who am I giving my data to and what for. Minsan kasi bigay lang tayo eh. Para makuha natin yung password para makakonect tayo sa Wi-Fi. And the immediate threat is always baka ma-hack ka. So it's always a cybersecurity threat, but it's never an ethical threat that we talk about. So yeah, I don't know if